Hello, I am Marius Vulcu and I help my friend Maria Ciobanu, a recognized astrologer and parapsychologist, to read this course. Let's take a recap of what you have learned so far. You learn about past lives and destiny, about previous life according to the 12th house, and understanding your birth chart. Next, you learn how to ask this course, understanding your birth chart, previous life according to the 12th house. You learn about destiny and karma. Next, you learn about karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect in operation. What goes around comes around. The word karma means action. What has been put into effect at some time in the past has an outcome in the present or in the future. Destiny represents has to do with current life and focuses on the individual evolution that has abided by the vocation undertook at birth. Throughout life, the individual must solve see karmic duties brought on from their previous life and also carry on the current life. Next, you learn about the karmic dimension, the moon within zodiac. The moon represents the instinctual side of your nature developed over many lifetimes. It reflects your past experiences around emotions, mothering, and the way you nurture yourself. This planet symbolizes deeply ingrained patterns, some of which will be your own and others which will be inherited throughout your family. Next, you learn about karmic dimension, about the sun within the zodiac. Sun's position within the zodiac signs is indicated by the date of birth. Hence, a person born under the sign of the Pisces shall have the natal sun in the sign. The zodiac tells the story of the journey of incarnation into matter and onto the wheel of karma. Now, lesson 4. Directions of evolution, the sun within the houses and the moon within houses. Past life repositories, the houses. The birth chart is divided into different areas now as houses. Thus, equate to spheres of life. While all the houses have a karmic tinge to them, certain certain houses are strongly karmic. Division of the wheel. The houses are divisions of the zodiac wheel. The start of each house is called the cusp. Systems differ somewhat, but you can read a chart from a karmic perspective, no matter what house system has been used. The main system are Placidus, equal house, and Coke. In equal house, all the houses are the same size. In Placidus and Coke, there are different sizes because the size of house can be a significant indicator of karma, as can the number of planets placed in a house. Placid houses are used in this course. The 12 houses go anti-clockwise around the chart from the ascendant, which is the name of the first house cusp. If the chart were a clock face, the ascendant will be at 9 o'clock. It is where the sun rises on the day. Okay. The midheaven or medium coeli is where the sun is overhead at noon. The descendant is where the sun sets, and the imum coeli is where it began the day. The houses are the where of chart. They represent unfolding spheres of life in which different activities occur and karma makes itself known. The journey of the soul around the chart goes from the individuality of the first house into the soul becoming conscious of its resource and previous experience through family connections in the fourth house, the relationship in the seven, and finally back to union with the whole in the karmic 12th house. It is a journey into expanding awareness. Where karmic influence falls. First house, you see, in this cusp, incarnation individuality. Second house, past life resource. Third house, communication and sibling karma. Fourth house, home and family. Fifth house, creativity, love affairs and children. Sixth house, health, vocation and service. Seventh house, karmic relationships. Eighth house, vows and inheritances. Ninth house, philosophy and religion. 10th house, family and work. 11th house, the greater group. 12th house, karma. The sun and moon's position within the zodiac. The sun determines the sun determines the identity name, namely the core personality and an individual's temper, while the moon reveals feelings, inner feelings, the soul and connection with the loved ones. The sun's position within the houses is given by the hour of birth. In the event the natal hour is not known, the sun is placed for the rising sign in the first house. A person born at sunrise shall have the sun in the 12th house or the rising sign. Those born at sundown shall have the sun in the 6th house or the descending sign. Those born at midnight shall have the sun at imum coeli, while those born at noon shall have the sun at midheaven. First house, the sun in the house of life indicates stamina, a strong personality, optimism. A person having the sun in this area will want to rise from the ranks, demonstrate courage in the face of adversity, and manifest their traits, showing a strong personality, signs childhood. In the event the sun is poorly oriented, the person is undecided, selfish and proud, who will only succeed in life after developing their self-confidence, thus facing many personality changes. The moon's presence in the house of personality impresses a fickle, insecure and romantic character, with a tendency for vices. Parents, especially the mother, are particularly important in shaping the character of a person having the moon in this position. Negatively, it will lead to instability as the native faces life changes with a definite tendencies towards laziness. They are of a compliant and poetic nature, easily adaptive to life's events, but they do not insist or persevere in the things they really want. The first house shows how the soul feels about coming into incarnation and what he expects to meet. The sign on the ascendant in the first house cusp shows how the soul goes path to meet the world. Aries is pushy and assertive, Taurus much slower and more deliberate, Gemini chatty and frenetic, and so on. The ascendant is what you notice first about people, and it can disguise their true self. There is a theory in karmic astrology that the ascendant is the sign in which the sun was placed in the last life, and so it is learned behavior. Planets that are close to the ascendant show up early in life. Those farther away make themselves felt later. A soul with Saturn placed here incarnates expecting life and especially childhood to be difficult. Luckily for the soul, life improves greatly once it has reached maturity and the task can be got to grips with. Second house, the sun in the house of material goods indicates work capacity, perseverance, and undertaking of responsibilities. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall want to gather as much as possible throughout their lifetime, having the ability to raise money and invest them in profitable ventures. In order to ensure personal stability, they will have make a honest hard work based on intensive labor. In the event the sun is poorly oriented, the native will face great financial constraints, squandering tendencies and extravagancies, debts, financial problems. They must learn about revenue and expense balance. The month's position in the house of material accumulation indicates instability and immaturity regarding their own set of values. The individual will face frequent financial fluctuation despite having no problems in obtaining money. They have a tendency to overspend, indulging their own pleasures. Despite being blessed with excellent native talents, they do not harness them through work, but by obtaining material benefits by means of speculation or with the help of their parents. Negatively, this position comes with a predisposition towards vices, alcohol, drugs, prostitution. The second house the karmic resources you have brought back with you, money to spend on your karmic credit card, so to speak, and the things that you have developed in the past show up in this house. Planets placed here indicate the skills, talents, and resources you have accumulated over many lifetimes. They show the karmic resources according to their nature. Chiron has healing power, Venus knows how to relate. Mars has learned assertion, Mercury can communicate well, and so on. If you are someone who only has to think about things and they come into being, or who always has money, or finds that help arrives at just the right moment, then you probably have Jupiter placed it here and have been working on abundance in the past. Many spiritual disciplines taught their students how to manifest what they needed. Third house, the sun in the house of communication, average studies and traveling indicates genuine intellectual skills and an excellent memory and good relationships with those around. A person having the sun in this area shall be blessed with communication capacities, favoring writers and journalists. Will have no problems with studying and will be dedicated to business, especially contracting, as they are a good handler. If the sun is poorly oriented, all the mental qualities will be misused, with the native's tendency towards being selfish, superficial, tight-whiter from a business standpoint, as well as from relationships one. They must reshape their entire communication system. The moon in the house of communication brings upon imagination, a test for study, a logical mind, as well as impressive multitasking skills. This person is very fickle, their curiosity sometimes reaching alarming levels, which leads to troubles with those close to them, parents, relatives, neighbors. Negatively, this position comes with a tendency towards lies, decide the placidity, thievery. The third house indicates both communication and sibling karma. Of particular significance is Saturn, as it shows a karmic block on communication that may arise out of physical handicaps, such as deafness or having your tongue cut out in a former life. The soul often feels very unintelligent indeed and has to reconnect to its natural intelligence once more. Pluto may indicate power struggles around what is or has been communicated and struggles with a sibling. Chiron almost always shows that a sibling carries a wound from a former life and may show communication wounds as well. When Neptune is placed in the third house, the soul rarely feels it belongs, either to the family or on earth at all. This is a placement of alienation and other orderliness. Fourth house, the sun in the family's house indicates conservatism, domestic tendencies, strong hereditary connections. A person having the sun in this area shall have strong ties with their parents and the past. They find it hard to grow up and will only manage to assert themselves after escaping the familiar spirit, changing their environment and life conditions. Once they become aware of their own powers and the knowledge of the past, they will manage to assert themselves in the desired fields. If the sun is poorly oriented, we are dealing with someone who avoids responsibility, a coward with a grouch personality, taking refuge within their family. They must prove initiative without the help of those close to them. The moon's position in the house of family indicates a harmonious and happy life and strong relationship with the parents. Both personal and social accomplishment shall be based on all the teachings of childhood, which is why they will have a hard time asserting themselves through their own ideas. Negatively, this position also indicates often changes of the domicile, personal life changes following their incapacity in undertaking their own decisions. The fourth, this is the parental axis of the chart. It shows karma with parents and expectation around parenting. When the outer planets are placed in these houses, they also describe the karmic contact with the parents. Pluto is heavy with power struggles and the need to break free from symbiosis. Saturn is also heavy and may be disappointed in or a disappointment to the parents. The soul is not valued as a unique person, nor did it expect to be. This is the soul that is learning to parent itself. Neptune has wonderful illusions about parents, but the parent is never really there. Chiron may show a wounded parent or a wounding home. The soul incarnated expecting painful parenting. fifth house, the sun in the house of education, children, adventures, and risks, indicates creativity, attraction towards loves, success, financial success. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall display intelligence, innovation, significant work capacity, a spirit of adventure, and good financial intuition. This position favors all relationships with children, even if this also involves work. Their success can be more significant if the person is also generous. If the sun is poorly oriented, we are dealing with a selfish person, indifferent, acting, building all sort of romantic adventures. The moon in the house of adventure, speculation, creation, and relationships with children points to success, popularity, honesty, and oratorical qualities. Such a position impresses all sorts of unstable romantic adventures and gambling on the individual. A native with the moon in the fifth house shall certainly have many children. Negatively, the moon passing through this sector can cause significant romantic disappointments. The most significant karmic placement in the creative fifth house is Saturn. This planet usually indicates delay or difficulty in conceiving a child or other creative project. It is a thought the soul has not valued its creations sufficiently in the past and now has to struggle with this. When Pluto is placed here, the lesson may be to be creative in a non-biological way. Sixth house, the sun in the house of work and health indicates genuine intellectual qualities dedicated to undertaking responsibilities towards work and the entourage, as well as good physical health. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall prove to be a good worker in daily meticulous tasks from a very young age. This native shall be preoccupied with harmonizing work relationships and shall try to assert themselves through their own powers. If the sun is poorly oriented, their concern towards work and health can reach alarming levels. These natives shall suffer all sorts of imaginary illness and manifest extreme criticism in their job, thus frequently changing their job. They must avoid being hypochondriac and prove more imagination. The moon's presence in the house of work and health indicates physical sensitivity, hygiene, and health concerns, a tendency towards hypochondria. Throughout their life, the native shall face all sorts of imaginary illnesses, which will aggravate their personal success and harmony. However, this position impresses genuine work skills, popularity amongst collaborators and work colleagues. Negatively, this position can make the person become quarrelsome and parsimonious. This is the house of health and vocations. It shows body karma, the disease of the soul. It can also indicate the continuance of an old vocation toward healing or service, Chiron, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, or a karmic need to undertake service in reparation or as a means of soul growth. Seventh house, the sun in the house of partnerships. Marriage indicates how the person establishes and maintains a connection, association based on mutuality. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope can have a lasting marriage with a partner they will be able to really on trust. This presence also indicates success in business or trials. They have highly developed aesthetic and success may come both socially and personally. If the sun is poorly oriented, the person has a tendency of taking advantage of those close to them in order to obtain goods and personal benefits. Marriage is subject to fluctuation. Their selfishness may cause them to lose goods following a divorce, separation, or various proceedings. The moon in the house of marriage and partnerships indicate general successful associations. The native is blessed with the sense of mutuality, having the appreciation of those around. They may have a happy marriage and a rich social life. Negatively, this position may indicate a fakely husband, loss of money following a partnership. This is the relationship house in the widest sense of the word, and the karma involved is set out in past lives and relationships. Eighth house, the sun in the house of death and the inheritance indicates fame, deep life changes, success and wealth in their marriage, great financial success. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall face deep changes throughout most of their life, especially with intimacy. Their life can be peaceful following a marriage or significant financial gain. If the sun is poorly oriented, the native will face tragic situation, great trouble, tie situations which might endanger both their lives and the lives of those close to them. They will be quite familiar with that. They will also have problems in their finances, as they might lose an inheritance or large amounts of money as a result of trials. They must control the excessive power and vitality. The moon's presence in the house of death and inheritance brings financial advantage by marriage or due to sexual force. The individual has a strong magnetic power on those around them, and they will take advantage of it in accomplishing a purpose. Negatively, this position shall be responsible for significant material loss or the death of a loved one. The eighth house is powerfully karmic, but its significance can be hard to judge as it keeps its secrets hidden. Saturn here may relate to vows that need to be resigned or a need to confront fears of death. Chiron too often means a significant death on that puts the soul on its path. As this house is about shared resources, Pluto can indicate all struggles in this direction and the need to explore the birth, death, rebirth cycle. Ninth house, the sun in the house of religion, studies and travel indicates genuine intellectual capacities, the possibility of higher studies and long travels which lead the native to success. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall have strong relationships abroad or with foreigners, will manage to self-assert and prove a strong sense of justice. This position indicates high ideals, superior ambitions, oriented towards religion and philosophy. If the sun is poorly oriented in the individual shall live in an aerial orbit, getting further from the practical and materialistic one, using their intellectual skills for shabby purposes and adventures of all sorts. The moon in the house of religion, studies and distant travels indicates intelligence, intuition, religious and philosophical tendencies. This person shall travel extensively and successfully accomplish all planned studies and can achieve public recognition through their work. Negatively, this position brings up and trouble with the law, embracing controversial religions, a tendency towards impossible to accomplish dreams. This is the religious and philosophical house, and the karma can be dark and heavy with undertones of fanatism and enforced coercion, or facet rigidity and puritanical adherence to the rules of the religion. The karma may have arisen around trying to bring in new ideas or becoming more mystically minded. The soul may have decided to make reparation for past attitudes or to follow a particular path to develop spirituality further. 10th house, the sun in the house of achievements, career and social roles, indicates the possibility of success in the public sphere by means of social rise. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall bring upon them the respect and trust of their entourage, thus obtaining the help some people who can be of assistance in their career. Undertaking their responsibilities towards society can launch them for a management position where they will prove to be fair, hardworking, and unremitting. This person will rise by means of their own strengths and will know how to obtain the support of those around. A poorly oriented sun indicates the loss of power and social status for their own purposes. The consequences can be disastrous, ranging from losing one's job to public disgrace. The moon in the house of career and social life might indicate popularity and wealth. This is a person who will surely have a high position within the public sphere and benefit from many powerful relationships. Negatively, this position indicates a fake career, public aversions, and failure to undertake responsibility. 11th house, the sun in the house of entourage and idols indicates selflessness, originality, change, popularity. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope should have many connections, a career and a life in close connection to a social group. The childlike temper, eager for adventure and exploration shall bless this native with many friends, making them quite popular. They will have innovative ideas as they are ingenious and creative. If the sun is poorly oriented, the native will be shallow, dreaming of a series of impossible to achieve projects. They may take advantage of their friends in achieving their purposes. Their most negative trait is their despotic, revolutionary, anarchic spirit, which will disregard all moral or social conventions and will attract some people with this philosophy. The moon in the house of friendships indicates sociability, selflessness in all relationships. Such a person will be very rakish, eager for adventure, having many friends, especially of the opposite side. Women will play an important role in their lives. That is why relationships with them will be tensed, filled with prejudice. Negatively, this position brings upon false friends in pursuit of their own interests. The 11th house shows your karma around groups and community. With Uranus placed here, the soul has tried to bring in a revolution and revolt. With Saturn, it has attempted to keep the status quo. When power-hungry Pluto shows up, the struggles go way back in time. If Neptune makes itself known, then past illusions, delusions, and deceptions may have to be atoned for. And finally, 12th house, the sun in the house of suffering, illness, isolation, enemies, indicates the inability to adapt to the outside world. A person having the sun in this area of the horoscope shall not be able to fit in socially, shall choose isolation and activities hidden from the public. This position aims at many karmic duties. That is why the suffering will mostly be spiritual, up to the moment when they analyze their own conscience and undertake their destiny. Being blessed with the divine intervention, they can successfully overcome all their troubles, especially since they have exceptional intuition as well as premonition and ominous dreams. If the sun is poorly oriented, their health could be damaged by means of chronic illness due to an enhanced hypersensitivity. This person will not be able to fit in socially or within their family and may have significant conflicts with authorities. The moon in the house of suffering indicates a powerful internalization, the attraction towards occult studies, exquisite extrasensory skills. This person shall isolate themselves from society and seek to evolve in a restrained environment. They will always avoid honoring responsibility towards society. Negatively, this position comes with health problems, hidden enemies, difficult troubles in life. This is the most karmic house of all. When the soul sets out on the journey of incarnation, it stands on the ascendant looking out around the chart. The 12th house is immediately behind. This hidden house is the deficit on our karmic ready card. Whatever planets lurk here indicate karma. Issues connect to the qualities of the planet. So, Mars is aggression, war and assertion. Venus is love and eroticism.